Can't believe you've done this. Okay. Oh no, not hiccups. Why not? Really? I don't know what I'm doing. Hi! I'm so glad you're here. Since it's the start of a new year, I thought it might be nice to sit down, reflect on last year, and talk about some goals for this year. I'll also be putting together a blanket, but the blanket still matches the theme of the video because last year I tried to crochet one large square every month of the year, and then I'd put it together at the end of the year and have a big blanket that I worked on throughout. I actually was able to do it most of the year, except for November and December. So instead of like a 3x4 blanket with 12 squares, I took one away and I'm just gonna do a 3x3 with 9 squares. And it just feels like a good way to wrap up 2024 and get wrapped up in 2024. But while working on this, I thought it'd be fun to look at some of the things I've made in the past year. So we've got 9 giant squares, one for every month that I was able to do. And I'm just gonna randomly put them together. I don't think the color pattern really matters because they're all different colors. Or do I want to kind of go with a rainbow? Do I have all the colors for a rainbow? There. Hair is up. And I am looking like somebody's feral aunt. I have like a salmon-y kind of pinkish orange. I have a golden kind of yellow. Got a bright yellow, a dark bluish green. We've got a dark blue, light purple, more of a magenta-y purple. And then we've got this very light pink and brown. And then here's the 10th month that I unraveled because one needed to be sacrificed to even things out. So I'm gonna put it together with the one that I took apart because I think that's fun and it's all I have. Do I want to crochet them together or sew them together? Maybe I'll sew them together. I tried to make them all the same size, but I don't know if they are. I'm gonna crochet. I changed my mind. I guess to start, this is my first full calendar year here on YouTube, though I think the actual like 12-month mark was in November from when I first posted a video, which those first videos are kind of rough to watch now. But I kind of think that's a good thing because that means I've grown, even if just a little bit, since I started, and I'm sure I'll cringe just as hard at this one in a year's time, and that's okay. Maya, what do you have in your mouth? When I first started recording videos, I was really uncomfortable with talking to the camera. I don't really know why, because I'm not talking to like a person in front of me, but I guess knowing enough that a person was going to be watching it at some point, hopefully, was enough to set my social anxiety off. And also just because it's just kind of awkward. There's nobody here and I'm talking to myself, but I'm really talking to you, but I'm really talking to myself. I wasn't really sure if that would get better, but I'm happy to report that it has. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable talking to the camera now and filming me just saying stuff. Aw man, maybe it's cute that the colors are peeking through. I don't know. We'll call it cute. That's what it is. Anyway, as far as projects go, to give this a little bit of a structure of some kind, I thought the best way to do this would be to name my top 10 projects from the year and 10 projects that I probably could have done better. Let's see. Where should I go from here? Or is that too forced? That's kind of cute. It's rainbow, but it's out of order, which will only bother me a little bit. And I want to say that these are in no particular order because I was just going chronologically through my videos to make these lists. So number 1, I have my Festival of the Arts dress. This was actually my first make of 2024, and I love it so much. Listing out as many of my favorite Disney characters and Disney movies and drawing them all, or at least drawing most of them, was a really fun process. And not only is it fun to wear because I love the giant rainbow sleeves, but wearing it to the festival was a really wonderful experience. It sparked some great conversations with folks in the parks. Like they would try to find their favorite character or their favorite movie represented on the dress. And the cast members that were working the festival were super nice and hyped up the dress so much. As somebody who has trouble taking in compliments, it was wonderful and lovely, but also hard for my brain to compute. But it made for a really magical experience. So that project is on my favorites list for this past year because I love how it looks, but I love the memories that I made while wearing it even more. To balance the video out, I'm gonna go back and forth between my favorites and the ones that could be improved upon. So number 1 on my could have been better list is my book cover video. That was a mess. So much went wrong and I felt so frazzled. To use the word frazzled. felt like I was losing it just a little bit. Yikes, that was a mess. But you know, can't learn if you don't try. And I definitely learned a lot. I think I could do better if I tried again. Number 2 on my favorites list is Patisserie Peach. I felt like this was my first real attempt at a cosplay, not making something inspired by a property or character, but truly trying to recreate something that a character wears. And I love how it turned out for my first like solid attempt at cosplay. I would still like to make a wig someday, because I've never done that, and I would like to learn how to make cosplay wigs. But I do like everything that I made as it is. I think it turned out really well. So I do have a confession to make, and that is that I haven't actually played the game yet. Yeah, it's been almost a year and I haven't tried playing the game yet. I just, in general, haven't taken a lot of time for gaming. The last time I played anything that wasn't Animal Crossing was Mario Kart and Mario Party with my family over Christmas. And not making time for it comes down to the fact that I make these videos on a week-to-week basis because I just can't seem to get ahead of my own schedule. So I just haven't had a ton of time to play games. Maybe I'll do the brown with the blue and the green. And when I do play Animal Crossing, I jump on for 20 minutes while I'm having my coffee or having lunch or dinner, and then I just get right back to whatever I'm working on. So it is a goal of mine to finally play the game this year, because I did play the demo and I really liked it and I wanted to continue, but I got swept up in projects and I never went back for it. Number 2 on my could be improved, or could have been improved, is surprisingly my vintage dresses. The green one turned out really well, but the pink one was pretty unwearable. I made it work for the reveal, but it truly was a mess, so much so that it had to be scrapped and I turned it into something else. And I really think that a big part of that was not properly resizing the pattern, which is something I would like to get better at doing. I have a lot of those vintage patterns left and would love to use them, but I need to learn how to size them up properly and do some research on how to do that. So hopefully I'll have time to do that, because I think that would have made a world of a difference in how that pink dress turned out. Number 3 on my favorites list is my House of the Dragon dress. I really like how this turned out in the end. During the process, I did start to question how it was going to look, mainly because creating the sketch itself was such a process. I went through a bunch of different versions of the sketch before I landed on the one that I ended up making. And when the vision isn't clear in my head, but the vibe I want is, and only one of those two things helps me actually make the dress, it can be a little bit intimidating when you don't really know the direction you're going in until you are already in the thick of it. But in the end, I really like the bodice, I really like the dress, and that headpiece is a really fun piece to have. And I like that it's a cosplay, but it's not a recreation. It's more of just something I imagine Rhaenyra would wear. So I like that. Number 3 on my improvements list might surprise you because it's my Bridgerton dress. Though I do love how it turned out. I think it was pretty. I liked the cool fabric. However, it wasn't exactly what I had envisioned in my head, and often when this happens, I have to sketch out what I think is feasible as the goal, because when the other options are no longer options, I have to visualize it somehow. So sometimes the sketches I show are after I figure out, ooh, I really can't achieve what I'd like to, so I'm going to adjust my expectations for the project and do this instead. And I think that was, come on. And I think that was a good example of that happening. It was very pretty. I do like how it turned out. However, I think if I had taken some more time to do the embellishments by hand and maybe invested a little bit more in the fabric, then it could have been closer to the vision I had in my head. But it wasn't. So it's on my could be improved list. And I might be donating that dress and trying again at some point. All right, what's next? Blue. Number 4 on my favorites list is my fairy cosplays video. I've been embracing my love of fairies and fairy folklore again thanks to that video, and not only do I love what I made, but it's also brought back an interest in what I loved as a child but didn't really foster, and it made me feel very whimsical wearing it. So number 4 on my improvements list is my finishing what I started video project. The dress I really like, even though I've had a lot of trouble recreating that bodice pattern. The overall more specifically are kind of a mess. I am not very good at making pants, and I never have been. Anytime I've tried, I think I've only had maybe 2 successes making pants of some sort, and overalls are mostly pants. So I struggled with that, and I have struggled to style it and wear it ever since. Getting better at making pants is definitely something I want to do this year too, but I've been so kind of afraid to try because I know I'm probably gonna fail the first time I do it. Being a perfectionist since I was a kid, failure is a tough pill to swallow, but at this point I've taken it so many times that I don't really care anymore, and I'm just gonna give it a shot at some point. I don't really know when. I think I'll do the 3 rows of 3 and then connect those all together. Okay, now we've got purples and a pink. Purple, pink, purple. Now we'll do purple, pink, purple. Number 5 on my favorites is my dream outfit. I wear that blue blouse all the time. I love it so much. I'm probably going to make a ton this year, and I just know that this year I'm going to wear it a lot more, and the skirt I made. I wish I had more opportunities to wear the cloud corset, but I don't really. I've never gone to a Ren fair or anything, I don't think. Maybe once when I was a kid. Really don't remember much about it. I'd love to go sometime, and I feel like that would be something I would wear to a Ren fair. Making something that I saw in a dream is such a specific prompt that has really nothing for anybody to reference except for whatever I draw, and sometimes I have a really hard time communicating what I see in my head into a drawing. And then also there was that aspect of it that some people just don't really like hearing about other people's dreams, and so I was a bit nervous to do that video, but between the support that video received and how well the outfit turned out, I'm definitely going to be doing more dream outfits this year, because every time I do have a notable dream, I write it down as soon as I wake up, because if I don't, why is it so much longer? Wait a minute, what's happened? Okay, we're gonna have to fudge it again. Because if I don't write it down as soon as I wake up, I will likely forget everything. And my dreams can get very, very detailed. And I've already added some to my dream outfit ideas list for a future video, so I'm very excited to put those together this year. Oh dear. Number 5 on my could have been improved is my Barbie doll. Listen, for a first attempt, it wasn't bad. But is that good? Painting the face on went way better than I thought it would. I was actually really worried about painting the details onto the face because my hands can get pretty shaky. However, painting the face wasn't the big issue. Sculpting onto the body was. And of course, not having sandpaper to smoothen things out and even everything out didn't help. So I would like to try that again at some point. Number 6 on my favorites list is my Storybook Cinderella cosplay. I loved this project. I think the pattern on the overskirt could have been a bit smaller, but overall, I have no notes. I loved making this, I love how it turned out, and I loved wearing it. Number 6 on my could have been improved list is Pearl's ramp. Oh dear. My poor, sweet, suspicious baby. It's very cute, but the form does not match the function at all. Which brings me to another goal I have for this year. I would like to expand on my ability to build things. I should have just taken the time to build it out of wood and found something more grippy for the incline, because my poor, sweet, suspicious puppy does not trust the ramp, and I don't blame her. I don't know why I thought building her a ramp made out of cardboard boxes would have eased her suspicions. Number 7 on my favorites list is my sandworm puppet. I love my boy, my sweet boy.
He's my pal, he's my homeboy, my rotten soldier, he's my sweet cheese, my good time boy.
I love my sweet boy. Harry Belafonte, the name given to him by my friends on Instagram. He is one of the coolest puppets I've made to date, and probably one of the coolest things I've made, period. And that sandworm is something I am genuinely very proud of, which is rare for me to say about something I've done. Number 7 on my could have been improved list is my Agatha Harkness dress. I do like the end result, don't get me wrong, but if I'm being brutally honest, the underdress needs a lot of help, and I honestly wish I had just gone full cosplay. Don't know why I thought that dress would be wearable. It's definitely in most occasions not for me, so I do wish I had just gone full cosplay with my Agatha Harkness dress. Wait, did I get them all? Yes, I did. Now it's time to put 3 to 3 to 3. Number 8 on my favorites list is all of my Over the Garden Wall projects. I love that sweater so much. It's one of my favorite sweaters I have now. There goes the yarn. And I think my little Pottsfield folks are so cute. They were going to be Halloween decorations, but I think I might just keep them out year round. Number 8 on my could be improved upon list is my Nightcore Sleeping Beauty. I think for my first time making armor that the armor looks okay, but I didn't really think through how I was going to lace them up, so wearing it all was a little interesting. to put it kindly. To put it bluntly, the leggings were a disaster. They were so bad. Ill-fitting leggings just drive me insane. I don't like how they look and I don't like how they feel. So that's definitely something I would fix in that project. And because of how they turned out, I wish I had just made a dress to go underneath the armor because I think that would have been just as cool. And this might be one that I fix up for future use in some capacity because I really do like the idea. I think a better dress and a better wig would have really brought it all together. That being said, I do like the armor and I do like the sword. Even though it's made out of tinfoil and cardboard, I love it. A lot of firsts in that video, which is why it's also in my could be improved upon list. Number 9 on my favorites list was kind of hard to pick because I really did like everything I made for October, but my Little Miss Muffet won out for number 9 because I just really like how that turned out. Very little went wrong with it. It was fun to put together and it was fun to wear. I got to have fun with special effects makeup. I successfully made myself some spider arms and I did some shadow puppetry for the reveal, which was also very fun, and I really liked doing that too. Number 9 on my could be improved upon list is my Wicked dress, which is an exercise in pulling things together at the last minute. I do like how the second version turned out, but tossing it together at the last minute meant that some concessions had to be made as far as construction is concerned. So it's a little bit messy on the inside, which bugs me a little bit. Oh, my sleepy puppy. I hope you know you're very cute. And not only is it messy on the inside because it was a rush, the hip pads, I don't know how, but the hip pads, I accidentally sewed them on way too far back in the dress, and they were no longer hip pads, which has been appreciated by quite a few people over on TikTok. Where is the yarn? Oh. For number 10 on my favorites list, I was torn between my living room redecoration video and my fairy core Christmas tree, because both have brought me a significant amount of joy every day, not just in the video. But since some of the tree decorations are going to become normal decorations after the tree comes down, I figured I would just kind of lump the two together. Redecorating my living space, it's not even complete and it has already changed how I feel in the space. It makes me very happy to sit out here and work on things and watch things if I can. It's just a pleasant space to be in now, and I was always grateful to have the space to begin with, but having the opportunity to redecorate it has significantly improved how I feel existing in the space. And as far as my fairy core Christmas tree goes, I'm just really proud of all the ornaments. I made quite a few, and I don't know, we'll see how I feel at the end of this year, but I might just keep the fairy core theme going and keep adding different kinds of decorations to the tree. Goodness, this is getting heavy. Ah, yes. Number 10 on my could be improved upon list is my Christmas tree dress. I like it just fine, it's very cute, but it's not quite the vision I had in my brain. The sketch that I made didn't even quite match what I had in my brain, so I'm not really sure why I went full send on that design, but I did. And like I said in that video, I think the length of the dress would have made a bigger difference in how the shape comes across. So yeah, I think there are some things on the Christmas tree dress that could be improved upon, which is the whole point of this list. But the star is a 10 out of 10. That star makes me so happy. Whenever I wear it, I feel like the more you know star. I could recreate that. So that about sums up my top 10 favorite projects of 2024, as well as my list of 10 things that could have been better. I still have quite a ways to go here. I'm just gonna finish up this last stretch on the last row, then we'll move on to the next portion of the video.
A few moments later.
Okay, I've attached them all, and I did have enough to make a very thin trim. Oh, we'll do one of those blanket unfurling things. Curse these dramatic sleeves. And here's the blanket. Wow! Wow! Everybody say wow! It's something, that's for sure. She's a little bit messy, but she's kind most of the day. But is she warm? Does she fulfill her sole purpose in this world? Very much so. Though she doesn't quite completely wrap around me. One more row would have done it. But it's still very cozy and comfy and soft and cuddly, and I do like it very much. This took an entire year to make. And based on how this went, I think I might want to do something similar this year. So I guess we'll just see at the end of the year if I end up doing one for 2025. But now on to the second part of the video, because I had another year-long project running alongside this. With the yarn I had left over from every square each month, I made as many little puffy flowers as I could in in the hopes that I could make an entire sweater out of them. And although I made many, it's not quite enough for an entire sweater made out of them. So what I'm gonna do instead is I took the sleeves off of a white sweater that I have, but I don't really wear that often, and we're gonna make puffy flower sleeves for that sweater. I did lay all of the flowers out onto a sleeve pattern to see if I could get 2 sleeves out of how many I have here, and I think I can by using 21 or 2-ish flowers for each sleeve. And I took a picture of the layout on the sleeve pattern so that I could use that as a reference in attaching them all together. And once the general sleeve shape is made, just sew it on to the sweater. So as far as goals for gonna be able to talk and do this at the same time, I do not know. So as far as goals for 2025, one of the top goals I have is to try some new art forms, new hobbies. I do tend to fall into this stagnant feeling of, I've done this before. I'm making something new with it, of course, but I can't help but feel that I've just done this before. So I kind of want to try, if possible, to add some new skills to my tool belt. Like I said before, building things. I've always wanted to try pottery. I see so many cool pottery videos on my feed, and it's just something I think I'd like to learn. I use things like polymer clay and air dry clay pretty often, but I've not used like pottery clay and done that whole process. So I think it'd be kind of fun to try it out. I just don't know where I would have access to someplace with clay and a kiln and things like that. If I want to do that, and if it's financially feasible, I would have to do some research as to where I could go to do that. Okay, kind of getting somewhere. Another example of a skill or hobby I'd like to try is rug tufting. I think that looks like such a cool, fun hobby to have just in your toolbox. I love watching people make rugs, and I just always think I want to do that. But getting the equipment would be a pretty big investment. Maybe someday I'll do rug tufting. For now, I think I could do like a mini version of that and do some punch needle embroidery, doing it by hand. I think I accidentally purchased one a few years back, but I didn't really know what it meant, and I didn't know how it worked, and I didn't know what to search to learn how to use it, and the instructions were not very clear. So I think I have a punch needle embroidery kit somewhere that maybe I'll just try to learn that. I am second guessing all of my decisions. I'm just gonna sew them together. I think I'll have a little bit more control. Another goal I have for this year is to do some more cosplay centered projects. Much like the pottery, I love watching cosplayers do their thing. Knowing how much work they put in, it's just so impressive to me, everything that they can accomplish. And when I tried to do full cosplays this past year, it did make me very happy. But I've also never been to a con, and I don't know if me going to one is on the books for this year, so I'm also hesitant to make a cosplay, put a lot of time into it, just for it to sit in my closet. I'd love to go to a con one day, but I don't know when I'm finally gonna just do it. But I do like putting costumes together, so I might just make some anyway. That way when I do go to a con, I'll be all set, as if I won't try and make something new like a week before. Another goal I have is to grow the channel. I know people don't often like hearing about businessy side of YouTube things, but I do want to be honest about what goals I have for the year. I am trying to make this my job, and to do that I do have to track numbers and watch hours. Oh my gosh. And I do want to get to a point where I can start earning money on my videos. And the good part about that is more subscribers would have to come in, and our little community here on this little corner of YouTube would grow. I'm already very grateful for everybody who is here. You all have been very kind and supportive. I was kind of hesitant to make the jump from Instagram to YouTube and TikTok because I have a very kind and now more familiar circle on Instagram that I've connected with over the past 4 years, and jumping onto a new platform kind of felt like going to a new school. Like, the friends you've already made are still there, but now you're in a different place with different classrooms and different people, and now you have to learn to navigate this new school and the kids that go there. But the kindness you have shown here on YouTube and the folks over on TikTok help this not be so scary. So thank you for that. Related to that too, I'm going to try to be better at responding to comments. I'm very, very bad at this on any platform. When I do respond, I'm forcing myself to respond. I don't know why it's so difficult for me to do that, but I am very bad at it. I actually set that as a goal last year, and I did not deliver. I'm going to try again this year and hopefully be much better at responding to comments. Oh my, this is a mess. And it seems I have reached the end of my script, and I don't even have one sleeve done. So I think I'm gonna end this here. Haha. Look at this fish I caught.
Oh my God, what is that?
I think this is just gonna have to be a project that I pick up here and there, but hey, we finished the blanket, and that was the main thing I wanted to finish in this video. This was gonna be just a bonus. I know this format isn't really how I usually make my videos, but I thought the new year called for a kind of recap and kind of what I'd like to see in the coming year. And if you have any suggestions for projects or hobbies I could try this year, let me know. Or if you have any goals for 2025, or maybe things you're proud of that you did in 2024, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. I know I switched up the format for this video, but if you liked it, you can let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to see what I'm doing next and join the channel, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know when I post, hit the notification bell and YouTube will let you know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!